right, it's week 16. It's round 2 of the playoffs. The road is getting narrower. And we are going to explore that road here on the back deck of the Funhouse. There's a little bit of rain falling, which I suppose we should thank because it means that it's not that cold. With me out here to discuss this, been able to recruit 2 live breathing human beings. One joining us after a few weeks away, Delajuwon. How are you, brother?
Doing good. Cold, slightly depressed, but other than that, I'm doing great.
That is just par for December, I think. And next to him, Clayton. How are you, sir?
I am good. I was expecting to be here today, so this was a last minute thing, but I had like about a half hour to put together a Christmas poem for the league.
Oh,
and hopefully it's as good as last year's.
All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
'Twas the week before Christmas, and all through the fun house, Fuckboy was chanting about $1,000 town. The belt was hung by the bar with care, in hopes that Dion wouldn't take it and it would still be there. Rob and Miggs were nestled all snug in their beds, while anxiety of Soto Sandy exploding filled their heads. Uncle Nick lighting a smoke, and Derek in his winter hat are frustrated by injuries and need to win ASAP.
God, that's true.
When out on 4th Street, there arose such a clatter, it was our treasurer Mark yelling, "It really doesn't matter." Back to the funhouse I flew, like a flash. Getting older now, I gave myself whiplash. Stumbling on the deck, what do my wandering eyes see? FX had Fun World Order in a headlock and down on one knee. Delajuwon and the Don were out in the pit, heat checking themselves with hot peppers until one of them quit. We do this every year for the belt, which is fantastic. So good luck, have fun, but never cheers with plastic.
Oh my goodness! Bravo.
It was actually really good for a half hour.
I mean, for having like zero prep, that was possibly as good as last year's.
Thank you.
Okay, fellas. Well, let's talk about what happened here. We'll start up in the championship bracket. Delajuwon, you battled the number 1 fuckboy last week. He prevailed 155 to 124. What happened?
Yeah, there was a couple of mistakes on my part. Namely, Cup, his proverbial cup, in fact, did not run it over. It, in fact, ran empty. As a matter of fact, completely empty. 0 points.
0 points. I was,
in arguably one of the weeks where I needed him the most.
I missed the game. I was traveling to Florida, but if I was told correctly, it was like pouring rain that whole game, which made it like 6 field goals or something?
So on top of being a manager, I also have to do weather myself. So, I should have definitely, done my homework and checked the weather on that game. But at the end of the day, I'm currently battling out this week for 5th or 6th.
Mm-hmm.
And I said it before, and I'll always say it again, worst to first.
Yep.
Now, if I don't necessarily remember if I said I would do that in a year, but I'm definitely on an upward trend.
Yes. Like worst to first with a stopover at 4th place?
Yeah. So at this point, I think it's safe to say I can speculate top 3 next year, easy, if not going all the way.
I like it.
So I'm definitely moving in the right direction.
I like the sass and the chutzpah, and interestingly, you drafted your own team this year as opposed to last year. You made almost the same number of moves, which is to say, not many.
I'm a man of few moves,
but you didn't need to. So really, really impressive drafting by you, and not being too hair triggered with your free agency. So I'd say yes, you're trending very well, sir. Let's get over to the other game that happened in the championship bracket. That was Dion and Talk Birdie to Me defeated Rob and Chief Slapaho 148 to 121. And the one thing that leaps out to me right there is Jalen Waddle, 0 points on 2 targets.
St. Brown and Mike Evans. Wow, they both won out.
Yeah, good Lord. I mean, that insane Buffalo-Detroit game, which was far more interesting a watch than the Steelers-Eagles happening concurrently. That was something to see. That was just you know what it reminded me of? It was like most boxing matches in the Rocky franchise, where they just are like, you know what, fuck blocking anything. Like, we're just gonna wail on each other's faces for like 15 rounds and just see whose brain leaks out of their nose first.
He does.
So other than that, that's really the tale. Dion had a couple of completely explosive offensive players, and Rob got a goose egg, like you, Delajuwon, when he really needed not to have one. Let's take a look down in the toilet bowl.
It's official.
Let's see.
You suck.
So there was a pretty exciting game on Monday. Buka had 3 different slots devoted to the Atlanta Falcons in one way or another. Now, I was asleep or possibly just, I don't know, on ketamine. And I didn't really follow that whole thing. Clayton, were you watching that game?
A little off and on, yeah.
So what was like, did something happen in the fourth quarter that like really like blew the, like pushed Buka into the lead? Because it was close, 118 to 113, he beat him.
Lorenzo was ahead, and Buka's 3 players on the Falcons would be John Robinson, and then he had the defense and the kicker of the Falcons. The defense actually got 22 points.
I saw that.
Ooh, Lorenzo has the stat correction there.
Oh!
-2, but, oh wow, that would have put him within 3 points.
Yeah, I just noticed that myself.
I just noticed it, yeah. This guy, Lorenzo's got to keep this Brian Thomas on Jacksonville. 32 points.
They're talking about him for Rookie of the Year.
He's had an amazing year.
Yeah.
But it came down to like the end of the third, fourth quarter, and then Buka jumped ahead with the Falcons, and that was it.
We say adieu to Buka out of the toilet bowl. Well done. And Don Cherleone will continue. Now, our other game was the matchup between our favorite Soto's Barflies, Miggs and Mark. Mark's stretch run of good luck ended last week, and it did not pick back up again this week. Lost a fairly close game, despite 41 points from Jared Goff. Holy
It's just going to say Devontae Adams outscored Goff 42 to 41 fantasy points. That's pretty insane.
Oh, man. Finally, wow. Right? Finally.
Yeah. Devontae paid off.
So, you know what? We can go back to, like, Miggs talking up his whole, like, I'm going to chain Devontae Adams with Aaron Rodgers. And the move didn't work out the way he wanted, but it did save him from having severe gastrointestinal problems and probably needing to take a week off from work. Anything else anybody wants to say about the games that already happened that we may have missed?
Yeah, just to backtrack, I know that Buka's out of the toilet bowl, but he does have a punishment, I believe, to settle up with you.
Oh, that's right.
The Steelers pretty much clinched that now.
Yes. For long-time listeners will know that at the season-ending episode, it is tradition for Buka to show up, and one of us has to drink a gross shot of Jägermeister and mayonnaise, depending on whose team finished with a worse record. And in terms of the Steelers or the Dolphins, and I believe that the Dolphins became mathematically incapable of winning probably some weeks ago.
I think it was this past week.
Just this past week.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because, I mean, yeah, there's 5, I don't know. But I'm excited for that. Stay tuned for 2 weeks from now when that'll be happening. It makes for great radio. Hey, it's time for our favorite neighborhood bartender to come out here and sling the drinks. How are you doing tonight, Derek?
I'm doing just fine. You're welcome.
We had actually just finished recapping the action of last week, and we're just about to get into the toilet bowl. You are coming off of your bye, and you have to face Don Cherleone, Lorenzo, in a battle of Funhouse guitar crooners.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on how this is going to go?
I would say that my chances of winning are about as thin as the threads that hold together Lorenzo's referee jersey.
Bursting with those pecs and those pythons. Yeah, well, it is true. It's a steep projection at like 71. We were just talking about how he had a couple of guys that really blew up for him last week and seemed poised perhaps to do it again. But who knows? So while we got you out here, you got anything to stump us with?
Yeah, I got a good question for you. I think this one's kind of a meatball over the plate, though. So,
You said that like the last 3 times. And
well, this past weekend was the Battle of Pennsylvania, where the Steagles separated and played each other. Dano, you were there. But when it comes, Philadelphia won that game. But when it comes to the games that really matter, the big game, the Super Bowl, the Eagles have a 1-3 record. That one win is against the New England Patriots, who have the most Super Bowl victories, tied with the Steelers for 6 victories apiece.
that's right.
The Patriots also have the record for most Super Bowl appearances with 11.
Yeah.
That means against their 6 rings, they also have 5 losses, which ties another NFL franchise
With five
with
losses?
5 losses.
5 Super Bowl losses.
Is this a math question?
This is so. What is the other team that has 5 Super Bowl losses? I have an idea.
5 Super Bowl.
You guys can
losses.
go first. You know, think for a second.
If I had to hazard a guess, I would say the Browns.
I
Browns have never been to a Super Bowl.
one of like what 2 or 3 teams, maybe 2.
Handful.
Yeah. The Vikings. Oh shit! I was
They have 4.
okay. All right. Well, shit. I don't know. Clayton, give it a stab. I might think of a.
Let's go with the Broncos.
Yes,
The Denver Broncos.
you got it. Right, sir.
Oh man, he's
Nice,
breaking
that's-
out the wallet.
That's 2. That's 2 in a
We
row.
also get a
Oh.
hologram
Super Bowl trivia.
defunct trivia card from the 90s.
Oh, that's
Where
amazing.
is that?
Oh, it's so cool. Oh, the Denver Broncos. Let's talk Nick versus Mark as Nick comes off his bye to deal with Mark.
So this is literally going to come down to who can get in the end zone and who puts up a 0, because this is a very, very evenly matched game.
Yeah, this is the closest projected outcome out of all 4 of the games that matter this week. Let's see, of course, yeah, Jared Goff coming off that huge shootout with Buffalo. Jalen Hurts had a great game, but was it a very high-scoring fantasy game for him? I mean,
Yeah,
he played pretty sharp, but
He had a touchdown
Yeah, it
and a
was.
couple
Oh, wow.
passes.
Yeah.
I will say this, though. I have a feeling that the Eagles are going to lose this game in Washington.
it feels like a little bit of a trap.
Yes, so Mark's capable. His average points are 109, Nick's are 102. I think Mark is going to edge himself out of this. No offense to you, Nick. I feel that Mark's going to come through this week. Ooh, Ertz is questionable. All right.
Yeah. Does he
Yeah,
have
this
a
is-
backup tight? Oh, he's got Njoku, who's also questionable.
Yeah, so he's projected higher than Ertz too. So I don't know if Mark's going to still make some adjustments or this is it, but it's going to be a good one for them to sweat out all weekend.
Yeah, for sure. Delajuwon, any thoughts on this one?
I mean, you guys said it best. It's definitely going to be a close game. With a lot of questionable players on both sides,
Yeah.
because you never really know, what's going on until you're right there on top of it. Obviously, there can only be one winner and one loser in this. So, may the best one of them win. I genuinely don't care who wins.
Yeah,
Or
I
loses.
was. I'll save this, I guess, for next week. But like these are probably my 2 favorite punishments that are still in play. The King's Courses and Hot Ones. I'll give the edge to Nick there. So I'm kind of rooting for Mark here. But we're gonna have a treat no matter what. The number 1 fuckboy isn't here today, which is a shame because Clayton, you're going to be battling him in a fight amongst the co-hosts. What say you about this matchup?
I will say it goes to my advantage. I had Gibbs and he had Montgomery, and Montgomery went out for the season. That gives me
Yeah.
a slight edge. I saw Gibbs' projection go up to 20, hasn't been projected above 16, 17 all year.
Yeah.
My biggest fear is what happened to a couple of losers last week. He's getting that started with a 0 burger. Outside of that, I'm ready to go. I did. I
Is
know.
there anyone in particular that you're like afraid might not get any targets or touches or something?
Between Jawan Jennings and Jackson Smith-Njigba, I don't know who to start. I go back and forth. Right now, I have Jawan Jennings in. I haven't started him all year. Running backs, I'm solid. I know I wasn't on the excuse me. No, I wasn't on the scoreboard last week, but I did add up my points. I put up 179, so I would have beaten the house last week. I would have beaten anybody in the league last week. I'm not trying to.
That's all right.
I did well, so I'm ready to go back to the championship. I've never actually been in a situation where I could repeat claims.
That's true. You've gotten to this round like a couple times, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know, but haven't gotten to the big dance.
Last year I did, but yeah, we'll see.
Okay. Well, whoever is winning that is going to deal with the battle of the commissioners. As I, the commissioner of Super Fantasy Funhouse 2 Turbo, go against Dion, commissioner of Funhouse 1, because I haven't come up with a stupid name for it yet. I'm at a bit of a disadvantage here. I have what started out as a pretty deep roster at receiver has kind of got to. I'm sort of suffering from that. If you have two quarterbacks, you don't have any old adage. I have a number of receivers who are kind of like almost none of them can be relied upon to blow up. Any of them might. But like it used to be, Neighbors for me was just lights out. He would just go up. But I saw this afternoon that he was listed as questionable. So I don't know. He'll probably play, and I need him to.
How do you feel about Carson Wentz throwing to Travis Kelce?
Is that confirmed? Mahomes going to be out?
It's pretty much probable that they're going to sit Mahomes till Christmas.
Well, I don't know. I feel like I tend to think that for a bad or inexperienced quarterback, and Carson Wentz is both. That the tight end is your best friend, your safety valve, your security blanket. But I know that Kelce is not the only pass-catching tight end on that team anymore. Forget the other guys.
No, Noah Gray, is it?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, he's put up some fantasy points.
But Kelce is still like the biggest flashing neon sign.
I'll make one last projection on your game. I think your game's going to be lower scoring than projected. I see all the red and oranges with the opponents, and I'm like, wow, like almost Dano, your whole team's playing defenses that stop them and stuff. So we'll see. I mean, people got to score fantasy points, but this is going to be a good matchup as well.
It's not too much better for Dion. He's, I guess, looks like he's probably going to go with Burrow, as I would too. But Mixon and St. Brown honestly look to me like guys who could potentially have tough days. In Detroit's case, because it's against Chicago, and I don't expect. Like I think you're going to have a great day for Gibbs, and conversely, that St. Brown's going to be relatively quiet. At least
don't double jinx me.
Sorry. I've picked yet another review of our ever extending viewership, and I would like Delajuwon to read this.
Oh, okay. So this is coming from the outside, from a particular Jim Cornette. He says, "Fuckboy's description of his matches are terrible, and a reminder of how people don't respect the business anymore. Number one, fuckboy. More like unlisted on Dave Meltzer's top 500 fuckboys. Replace him with Tracy Smothers. 5 stars."
Dude, we're catching on when Jim Cornette is mad on the internet about us. Before we go, I'd also like to say, guys, for next week, Clayton is going to be hosting karaoke here on Christmas Eve as drunk Santa, I believe, or possibly sober Santa. I don't know. He's going to be Santa, and I'm going to be here playing Die Hard on the near bar TV, such that Hans Gruber falls off the Nakatomi Plaza at exactly midnight. It's gonna be a fun time. So, and I will bring my podcast recorder, because there's literally no other time that I can really get a word from anybody. The holidays really fell on a weird day of the week this year. So please come out. I'll probably want to do the recording sometime between like 8 and 9:15 or something like that. So come on out early and stick around for the fun. Gentlemen, is there anything else you'd like to say before we skip town?
Yeah, just a real quick heads up, and I hate to harken back to a previous week, but I'm looking at that week 14 standout there. That was the highest, if I'm not mistaken, the highest scoring week put up anybody this season, and it was probably the biggest blowout as well. I'm not really going to sit here and do the math, but I'm just going to say that it is. And I'm not saying that it deserves an award, definitely recognition. So we'll see about that on the week of the championship. You know, if there's anybody wants to throw a little extra, plaque or something my way, that'd be great.
We'll submit your request to a committee formed for the purpose of adjudicating your request, and I will say that there's probably about 10 to 12 weeks waiting, and there will be a processing fee to be decided later.
Did you settle for a bag of hot peppers?
I mean, that might expedite the process.
I will settle. No, I won't settle for a bag of peanuts. I thought about it, but no, that's not good.
All right. Well, that's given me more administrative work to do. I better get to it. Everybody, good luck this week, particularly to our playoff teams. Enjoy the games, and we will see you Christmas Eve.